and welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. We're starting early. It's 1:06 in the afternoon, and it's almost Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve today, and we've had a few snow showers throughout the FM area. In fact, picked up about a half inch out in West Fargo. Picked up a couple tenths here at the studio and a couple tenths out at the airport as well. Main thoroughfares are okay. Some of the side streets are still a little bit slick, so be careful if you're going to be out and about. But general travel on the main thoroughfares are A-okay. That's great news for holiday travelers. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our Ag Director, Bridgette Readel. Bridgette, I love the candy cane antlers that you've got there. Looking good.
So feeling a little festive. This is a little bit like little Susie Lou Who from, wasn't that her name on The Grinch?
Right? Yep.
Yeah.
Was it Susie
No,
Lou?
Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou.
Cindy
Yeah.
Lou.
Right.
Cindy Lou Who. So there you go. I got the Cindy Lou thing going for today because it's almost Christmas. Christmas Eve tomorrow. Excited about that.
Are you all ready? Did you get all your shopping done and all that good stuff?
Who are you talking to? I was done at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Come on. Now. Really. All good.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, and for anybody traveling, it really does look pretty good for the upcoming holiday. There is a little disturbance that's possible as we head into Christmas Day, and I'll have more on that in a bit. But for today, the rest of today, again, those snow showers winding down now, and we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Highs aren't going anywhere. They're stuck in the teens. With those winds generally out of the south or northwest, switching to the southeast as we head towards evening. And then those southeast winds, we'll see temperatures rise overnight to about 20 or so by sunrise. And then as we head into your Wednesday, breezy out of the southeast in the morning, then changing to the north as we head into the afternoon with highs right around the freezing mark. And then, so good travel tomorrow, no problems tomorrow. But on Christmas Day, there's going to be an upper level disturbance that moves in from the west. And that will spread a little bit of a light mixed precip in the central and eastern parts of the state on Christmas afternoon, and especially late Christmas. It looks like a lot of that is after dark. And that is going to become a little more prevalent into western Minnesota. So if you're doing any traveling, especially Christmas night, from the valley eastward, it looks to be, we could see some scattered icing. So we'll keep a close eye on that over the next day and a half to see if any of that changes. But you might want to check those road conditions later in the day on Christmas into Christmas night if you're doing any traveling around the area, as we could see some light icing. We're not expecting an ice storm or anything like that, nothing too widespread. And then quiet Friday, and then another Arctic air mass hits over the weekend as we have a dump of Arctic air come in, and we'll probably see some light snow with that on Saturday as the front comes through with falling temperatures, and then highs only between 5 and 10 above on Sunday. And then as we head into next week, New Year's week, and it looks like Monday's going to be quiet. Tuesday warms up, and then another surge of Arctic air pours in here right in time for New Year's Eve. And we could see some snow showers with that Tuesday into Tuesday night into Wednesday. So kind of an up and down roller coaster forecast as we've been expected. And if you follow along with the LRC, I know that originally we had I believe it was like a 63 day cycle. And Gary did notice a little glitch, which he missed. He said, that's okay, though, that those things happen. But now we do have the cycle length absolutely set. And Gary has updated his website, weather2020.com. And for the most part, we're in a pretty quiet period. That doesn't mean we won't see any snow, but a quieter period between now and the start of the new year. But as we go into that first week and second week of January, we are going to start to turn into more of a stormier cycle here in the northern plains, and that means the better chance for some snow events coming in here that first and second week of January if you have any travel plans going on then. But between now and the end of the year, a few little shots of snow on Arctic fronts, but that's about it. No big storms, and that's again, that's great news for anybody doing any traveling, whether it be over the Christmas holiday or as we head into New Year's as well, Bridgette.
Well, the thing, I know you said light icing, potentially late on Christmas Day, but that's a black ice cause for a lot of us. For many who are going to be on the road outside of the Fargo-Moorhead area, that's going to be affecting our travel. So again, make sure to slow down along with those gifts that you're tossing in and the wine because you're going to be at the in-laws. Don't forget to make sure that you've got tow ropes in case you do go in the ditch. Perhaps if you need some traction, a lot of folks keep kitty litter or something like that where they can get just a little bit of traction. For some of us who drive half-ton pickups that tend to be a little lighter weight, wouldn't hurt to grab some sandbags and put those in the back for a little additional weight too. And don't overdrive the conditions. Just because you have four-wheel drive does not mean you're invincible. So slow it down out there. If you run across weather conditions, we always appreciate you updating us any day. And you can do that on the JLA Insurance phone line. That number is 701-293-9000. Nate Thorsrud is a farmer himself. He understands the updates that are coming with crop insurance. Feel free to get in touch with him. Again, that's JLA Crop Insurance. They bring us our phone line today. Dean's Weather is brought to you by Progressive Ag. They are our risk management specialists, and Lord knows there's plenty of risk going on right now in the commodity markets. So don't be afraid to reach out to the experts when you need them. If you're wondering about my little Cindy Lou Who look, well, you can find it thanks to Lighthouse Commodities on our live streams. That you can find them on Facebook, YouTube, Acres TV. We're under our name WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus, and the emails. I'm sure there will be some emails today once you get a load of this get up, and those emails can be sent to me, ag@flagfamily.com. Dean is weather@flagfamily.com. And our inboxes are powered by Superior Grain Equipment. They bring us superior grain storage, drying, and handling solutions. All right.
Hey, Bridgette, real quick.
Stuff.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Addison has a great point. He piped in my ear, and I want him to share. I want him to share his knowledge with us. Addison,
I'm just saying that this should be fairly simple to anyone who paid attention to the weather forecast.
You would think so.
All of the weather that you were mentioning about the next couple days into the weekend, that is all clearly caused by Santa flying down from the North Pole. It kind of follows him down as he goes around.
Mm-hmm.
So just in case anyone's wondering where this weather might be coming from, it's not necessarily Santa's fault, but it is a byproduct of Santa.
Is it because of the chemtrails that Santa is spraying in the upper levels, or is it just the downdraft from the sleigh that's dragging the cold air in?
I think it's a downdraft from the sleigh.
Stop ruining Christmas.
Are you sure it's not chemtrails?
Well,
Santa's been known to spray those.
Christmas.
That's the Grinch's sleigh. You got the wrong sleigh.
Oh, okay. All right. Now that we got that squared away.
Different models of sleigh.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you two are trying to ruin my Christmas.
I'm not ruining anything. I'm just bringing logic to Dean's weird weather.
I do think that the Santa downforce is true. And hey, Wysocki, are you going to be checking the radar for Santa's progress to report to all the little tykes on Christmas Eve?
Of course. Yes. And hopefully, the kiddos don't forget, behave, or you don't want coal in your stocking.
Doesn't NORAD? Somebody has a Santa Claus tracker.
Yes,
as Santa moves across the U.S.
NORAD does. Yes, and we will be putting that up on our website, so the kids can track along.
Good. Well, for all of you who have your own iPhone, tune on into the website. You can find us there. What's our website again? WDAY
RadioNow.com.
RadioNow.com. Thanks. I don't say that one a lot, but I do use our phone number a lot. 701-293-9000. We are going to be joined by a couple of guests today. One is Brad Olstad. Brad's going to be coming in. He is with Steffes Group. We're going to talk about auctions and equipment and maybe some buying opportunities here at the end of the year. And then we'll be joined by Chris Sherman. He's our cybersecurity superhero. Chris sent us a whole list of items to talk about. And Dean, I heard you yesterday saying how much you hate your 2 and 3 factor authorization.
Authentication.
Thank you.
Thanks, Addison.
How can you two not say this word?
Well, I'm eating popcorn. I don't know. I mean, that's my excuse.
You kids and your excuses these days.
Well, we'll have Chris help us out with all of those. But yes, first we'll be joined by Brad. It is On the Auction Block with Steffes Group after we return from a livestock market update from the American Ag Network. It is on the auction block with Brad Olstad from the Steffes Group. And first things first, I had a couple of messages from listeners asking where I got my lights that I'm wearing today, the light up little Christmas ornaments. Actually, they were a gift from Marcia Van Leer with Gowan and Company, and they are tiny snowmen and snowflakes, etc. So, hey, if you need tiny lights, not that Gowan sells them, but Marcia knows where to get the cool stuff. So, Brad Olstad with Steffes Group with On the Auction Block. Brad, how have auctions been going in the month of December as we get to year end?
Well, I tell you, thanks for asking. We've had a nice string of auctions through the month of December, whether it's been farm retirements, real estate, or our dealership projects I've been working on. And we're seeing some kind of softening in the market, especially on the higher houred aged equipment. And I call that like third and fourth generation pieces of equipment. Just for the sheer fact that it's so expensive to like replace tracks, replace tires, do the maintenance and things like that. So we are seeing a little bit of softening there. The late model stuff, the first and second generation machines are holding up very well. Production ag land is holding up very well. It's surprising the interest, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity when you purchase farmland, but we did notice a softening, especially in the year end here. And I think it has a lot to do with the commodity prices and the uncertainty for 2026. I don't want to say the sky's falling, but there's a lot of hesitancy out there right there in the marketplace.
This may be a dumb question, Brad, but can you clarify when you say a softening in the market, do you mean lower prices at which people are purchasing or less bidders, or are they kind of one and the same?
Well, we have a lot of buyers and bidders, and what we're noticing, because we control the backside of the website, is the participation level over a certain price point, and that's about $150,000. It really, really drops off. And everybody seems to be able to cash flow $150,000 and less for like a 5 to 7 year deal. But when you start talking $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 pieces of equipment, it really, really limits the bidder pool. And so that's what we're noticing. It's still something, cash flows, the bins are full, don't get me wrong, but the prices do not justify or warrant maybe used equipment purchase at this time of the year. That's what we're seeing.
Okay, that's a pretty fair statement. Folks are going in, talking to their tax advisors, their accountants, looking at those profit and loss statements and just making that decision. Am I in a position to buy or should I be in a position to sell? And I would venture a guess you still have room on consignment sales if folks are interested in moving some equipment off their property.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Yesterday, I was up in Newburgh, North Dakota on a nice farm retirement. They were in their mid-60s. They farmed husband and wife their whole entire career, and they said this is the year to be done. And that was one of those auctions you get booked, and it's a good feel right there. We also have some businesses that are talking about maybe doing some restructuring. I'm doing a custom combiner auction here coming up, and those guys in that industry, again, it's the cost, it's the manpower, and the ability for profitability is being tested right now. So those are the things and the people that we're talking to right now. We have plenty of openings. Like I said, the sky's not falling, but we always want to be the ones that tell. Auctions are the leading indicator of a market that's going up, and they're also the leading indicator of a market that's softening. So we try to stay positive here at Steffes, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay. I had some conversations with some farmers and equipment guys last night, and I want your opinion, if you would, Brad. And no, it was not while I was drinking a beer. So, yes, this is a completely sober discussion. So, just so you know. But the question was actually from a farmer in Arkansas. Did anybody foresee Bitcoin being the currency to be buying, whether it's farmland, but also even equipment? Have you had any discussions about that with some of your other staff, or have you heard that discussion in the marketplace, Brad?
I will tell you that's the first time that's been approached to me as a conversation. I think we have to be open-minded, as we have had to be in the auction business. Back in the day when it was Bob and Brad and Scott behind the microphone, now it's the online platform with all of the technology. We're not just an auction company anymore, we're a tech company. So I'm sure that's on the table and being discussed, but that's a whole different topic of a comfort zone. And when you're dealing with people throughout the world, we're dealing with bidders throughout the country and the world. And trust but verify is starting to really be an interesting challenge for an auction company. With our platform, you can bid and you can be in your crane. Well, how do you validate funds? How do you do transactions? And how are you going to get paid? And the Bitcoin or the mining ability to pay for things, we have not, basically experienced that with this company.
Now, you bring up a really good point. Trust but verify. We are truly in a global marketplace. Yet another question that we talked about last night was this. There are signals, let's use the language Mrs. Meyer taught me in high school English, but there are signals that some of these smaller equipment dealers, as they shift to larger, let's say they get absorbed by a larger dealership with John Deere or Case, that a dealership, maybe there's a hole in a community, someone's looking for a secondary, smaller, almost B-type equipment manufacturer to be selling. And there's discussion that China might be trying to bring some of their equipment in to those smaller type dealerships. I don't know if you've seen or heard any discussion like that, Brad, but do you think there's receptivity from farmers to look for an entirely different equipment manufacturer?
I would be cautious. I'm sure there's foreign companies that are trying to get into our ag production or ag sales market. The biggest obstacle, I can go back to the Belarus tractors that Interstate Equipment used to sell in Valley City, North Dakota, Norval Larson and Company. And his biggest problem there was parts and service.
Yes.
The price when you first buy it brand new is very attractive because it's considerably less than what John Deere, Case, New Holland, some of the good brand names that are here in the United States. You start bringing in from across the pond, parts, service, and reliability is the main thing that you'd have to really be careful for. And you pay for it once on a good buy, but you'll pay for it 3 times if it turns into a problem child.
Well, I would venture a guess that no one wants to buy a problem child, and they want to buy something that's spectacular. In the last few sales that you've had, Brad, has there been a particular piece of equipment that really stood out that was phenomenal in your eyes?
Well, I think we have to go back to the cattle industry and the cattle prices. Anything that we are selling that has anything to do with production livestock is selling very, very strong. Tractor loaders, especially low-hour, late model, we've been soft retail on those. Payloaders that can go out into the feedlots and things like that, super, super strong. Some of the Class 9 combines are actually coming back very strong. I think probably the most significant thing that we saw was that people are realizing that a lot of new equipment hasn't been sold the last 2 years. And once this supply starts tightening up, the price of new equipment is not coming down, and you're going to start to see a run up in these equipment values. So what I've been telling people is if you have the resources and if you can cash flow, this is your best buying opportunity in the next 10 years to be purchasing ag equipment or good quality construction equipment because, like I said, the prices are not coming down on the new side. There's no programs. If you can cash flow it, the discounts are in. Take advantage of it because it'll be worth what you paid for it today, 2 years from now, even though you put more hours on it.
This has been On the Auction Block with Brad Olstad of the Steffes Group. Brad, a giant thank you to you for spending some time with us this year throughout our months. We really appreciate it. Where can folks find Steffes Group for more information?
Well, I just think they need to go to our website, steffesgroup.com, and just research our website. If it's not on that website, it's not available in the country because we have it all here. It's a pleasure to get to buy and to visit with all these people that are calling about our auctions that are coming up. And I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas as well and your listeners, and thank you. Everybody have a great Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Brad. Merry Christmas to you. To those who are listening, stay tuned to Weather and Ag in Focus here at the Coral Laundromat Studio. because when we return from our bottom of the hour news, we're going to visit with our cybersecurity superhero, Chris Sherman. All right, Dean, any idea where this music is from and why we would be playing it? As we introduce our cybersecurity superhero.
I have no idea, but I gave Addison the weirdest look. I'm like, what is this?
It made me smile.
Oh, superhero. What's the name of it? Yeah,
You're really close.
Something superhero, I think.
Bridgette?
Holding on for a hero.
Oh, that's what it is.
So thank you to the movie Footloose, or for those of you who are younger, Shrek 2. You now understand where this song came from. So Addison and I had a brainstorming session over at Pizza one day, and this was his suggestion for Chris Sherman's introduction. So
I'm sure Chris
today,
loves
Chris.
it.
I have arrived. I officially have a theme song.
There you go. Hey, Chris, starting off, I had an incident happen to my significant other, and here's what happened. So her bank account got hacked by 10 times. They purchased something, I believe it was on the app called Whatnot, and they made 10 purchases. None of them were big, 20 to $50, but 10 purchases before her bank spotted it, and then they finally put a freeze. I believe they put a freeze on her account, temporary freeze on it. How she's never used the Whatnot app. How in the world could cyber criminals? How could they do that? And what could be done to prevent it, or can be done to prevent it in the future?
So first off, all right, was it a debit card or a credit card?
Oh, good question. I believe it was a debit card. And Christy, if you're listening, if that's wrong, shoot me a text.
Call in.
Call in. Yeah.
9000.
So the one thing that I would say is that number one, there are the skimmers that sit on top of credit card machines. I know that we've had a couple incidences over the years, especially in the FM area, where credit cards are processed, but then there's a little piece of hardware on top of that is actually pulling your information and sending it off to a hacker, and that happens quite frequently.
Wow.
We've also seen where they take your information off of the internet, whether it's being sold or however it gets passed around, but that is definitely something that's out there. The one thing I would say is always just we have our bank accounts, online, and we can see the, transactions pretty readily. So keeping a close eye on it during the course of the day or, over the week or whatever is definitely a good idea.
So it has nothing to do with passwords or anything like that. It was just, it could have been a skimmer that.
I mean, passwords is definitely something that's important, especially if your stuff has been hacked. But skimmers are most likely the issue. The one thing I would say is there's this really cool website out there called Have I Been Pawned? And you can check your passwords and you can check your email addresses and see who and when and how many times it's been compromised and what you need to do.
Okay, Chris, I was wrong. I just got chastised by text. Christy,
I was hoping for the phone call.
Yeah, well, 701-293-9000. There was no card involved. She said it was through Venmo, which was linked to her checking account. So it was through Venmo linked to her checking account that they made these 10 charges.
That is interesting. Okay. All right.
That's a whole different ballgame now.
That is a whole different ballgame, because that would mean that somebody sent her. Okay, I can't really speak to that simply because, number one, was there a credit card or was there a card attached to her Venmo account? Does she have a Venmo card? She
said no card involved.
Okay. Number two would be you would almost have to have they would have had to have submitted a purchase to her in order to have her pay, unless her Venmo got compromised. If her Venmo password got hacked, then that's a different story.
Okay. So
that is interesting.
Right. Yeah. When I saw it, I said 10 charges. How does that happen?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, she said no card involved, but so change the Venmo password then?
I would change the Venmo password, and Venmo also has a 2-factor authentication.
Okay.
Make sure that that's enabled. The other thing is that, remember, credit cards have a lot better, stronger security protocols behind them than your debit cards do. So it's and the chances of getting your money back from a credit card scam, or if your card is hacked or taken, is far more likely than if it's a debit card out of your personal checking account.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yesterday we had a great debate behind the scenes with our guest Don Kinsler about how we all have to go through these multi-factor, what are they called, Addison?
The authenticator.
Thank you. And because
Yes.
of that, there's a lot of complaining that we have to do it, but we have to do it. That's the bottom line, right,
Correct.
Chris?
Yep. Yes. I mean, think about it. How secure would you feel if we just were like, you know what, we're so sick and tired of deadbolts, we're going to get rid of them off of all of our doors, right? Um, it wouldn't make sense, and we have to think about our online platforms that way. It's we were in that breakout session last week, and somebody said, well, what about using the same password for everything? Well, I mean, if you want to, but do you want the same key to your house, to your car, to your office? I mean, we really have to start thinking about cybersecurity just like our own personal security.
And that's a great lead in for the security. I got a request today for a W-9 from a customer I did business with this summer. And I actually took time to make sure that it was real. Like, I called them to say, did you really send this to me through a third-party vendor or through your accounting office, et cetera? And that's probably something we've got to be doing, is more ask and verify, especially as we're approaching end of year and tax season. Chris?
I am so proud of you. Look at that.
Yay! I got it right.
We have too many people that are just like, they just run with it and act first and ask questions later.
Let's not be doing that.
No,
That's not awesome. Okay, and so make that contact, verify, understand who you're doing business with, who you're talking to, before you just start randomly putting out your Social Security, EIN, address, and all those types of things. That's a big deal. And
Yep.
even attachments, because those secure portals can be faked.
Yes, secure portals can be faked, and then at the same time, any of the links inside of the attachments themselves can carry viruses. So you have to be very careful. It's no longer the trust but verify. Now it is the verify before you trust.
So, speaking of learning these types of things, you have a webinar coming up in January. I want to make sure that you touch on that for listeners today.
Yes. So we are doing a free cybersecurity webinar, and it is for farms and producers, co-ops, any sort of agribusinesses out there. It is going to be January 6th and February 10th. Both of them are going to be, I believe, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then you can go right to our website at techsupport.farm and sign up for that. Pick out which one is the right time for you. It's going to be a great little, hour to 90-minute webinar. We're going to walk through how to, look at emails, how to figure out, the best cases for passwords, authenticator apps, all of that kind of stuff. We will go through the whole thing. You'll have a printout at the end where you can go through, and a checklist of things you can do to, improve your security posture. It's going to be very, very useful, hands-on, and interactive.
Chris, one of the things that you mentioned in our notes for today was keep your farm business information off your personal email and text. What's an example of that? What do you mean by that?
Okay, personal emails and personal phone numbers are problematic, especially in agriculture, simply because it's put out there so much, whether it's through USDA databases, federal databases, any sort of transparency. And the problem is that our personal emails, in particular, I've always used the analogy that a personal email address, whether it's Yahoo or Gmail, AOL, Hotmail, any of those emails are basically like the mailbox on the side of the road, right? Anybody can open it, anybody can see what's inside of it, if you know what you're doing, and they can glean all the information, and then it just continues on to the original destination, and nobody's the wiser. So it's really important for everybody to understand that we need to be keeping business emails on business grade email platforms. And that means go out, get a domain for your farm. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but but you need to make sure that it's a commercial email address, whether it's Outlook or Google's Business Suite. And then also make sure that you've got proper filtration software to be catching those phishing attacks and those spam attacks. And then at the same time on the outbound, especially for farms that have small businesses, whether it's crop insurance or seed dealers or whatever, making sure that you're DMARC compliant and making sure somebody has that all set up for you so you're not getting spoofed out there in the marketplace.
And Chris, we got a text in real quick. They said, please ask Chris to repeat the website or app or what it was where you can tell if your passwords or logins have been compromised. What was it?
Yeah,
again?
give me one sec. It is haveibeenpawned.com.
Haveibeenpawned.com.
Yes.
PW.
And pawned is it's have I been pawned, and there's no A in pawned.
So PWNED. Yes. Gotcha.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. Addison has it on our live stream. And again, those live streams are brought to you by Lighthouse Commodities. So you can go back and review those on Facebook, YouTube, and Acres TV to see the actual website that he brought up for us.
And yeah, don't pay for it. You can enter your password in there. You can enter your email address. It's very useful. It will go through and tell you the number of times that you've been breached, the places that you've been that have accidentally lost your information and that sort of thing. So you can see what stores you went to and they sold your information or it was out there in the marketplace. They can tell you what information was stolen from you, whether it's birth dates, social security numbers, that sort of thing. It's a great tool. Just don't pay for it. It's why pay for something that's kind of depressing too?
Understandable. Chris, for folks who want to get in touch with you before we are finished for the day, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can find us at techsupport.farm, or they can call our phone number at 701-446-8518.
Chris, it is always a pleasure to visit with you. Thanks for that. We'll see you in the new year, and Merry Christmas.
Sounds good. You guys have a wonderful Merry Christmas as well.
You do the same, Chris. And when we come back, we will have weather trivia, and we'll go over a couple of ag topics and a recap of the weather. All that coming up after the break. And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus on this Christmas Eve, 1:53 in the afternoon. And we've got weather trivia. Now, if you can get the answer, you'll win one of our great Darter plastic rain gauges. These make great Christmas gifts, I'll tell you. And if you win today and you get down here before the close of business today, you'll be able to give that as a nice gift. So, the weather trivia for today. Snowflake size and shape are determined by what two factors? Snowflake size and shape are determined by what two factors? I don't know if you were around today in areas of Fargo. We did have some pretty good sized snowflakes out there, opposed to some of the smaller ones that you see from time to time. So again, what are the two determining factors that snowflake size and shape? What determines those?
I think the answer is quite clear.
What is it?
Well, it's clearly jolliness and cheerfulness.
Those are the right things. Yes.
Yeah. 701-293-9000. Again, what?
Are you sure it's not peppermint and cinnamon, though?
It could be.
It could be.
It could be.
Pine. A little bit of pine in there.
Yeah, so to win one of our Darter plastic rain gauges, snowflake size and shape are determined by what two factors? 701-293-9000 for your chance to win. And we've got a caller on line one. Caller, what's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew, what is your guess?
Is it moisture and temperature?
Close enough. Yes, it is. It is cloud temperature and humidity. So moisture and humidity. Yeah, absolutely. So if your temperature and dew point are close together, you get that high humidity, and you typically get the bigger snowflakes the closer you are to freezing, opposed to if you're 10 degrees, 0 degrees, you'll get those smaller flakes. So, congrats.
Yeah.
Are you planning on coming down before close today, or?
I'm literally driving by you guys' office on the interstate right now.
All right.
Somebody get down there.
Addison, Addison, can you send his information down to Mariana so then he can pick that up? Awesome. All right. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right. Well, good deal. See, now that was he was right on top of it. That's great. And
That is excellent timing for him to stop by.
now
Much
if he was
appreciated.
driving, I'm guessing he's not Googling, to find out the answer, because that wouldn't be safe. I think he just knew it. So
Safe or multitasking. Could go either way.
it could be. Oh, man. So, Bridgette, we got time for a couple. Well, let's recap the weather real quick, because this is a big travel couple of days, and the rest of today looks good. We saw our snow showers earlier; those have faded away. We've even got a little sunshine out there, but temperatures are going nowhere today. They're staying steady in the teens, and then we'll actually see temperatures rise overnight to about 20 by sunrise, and then we'll make it up to about the freezing mark tomorrow with the mix of sun and clouds. A little breeze out of the southeast in the morning, changing to the north in the afternoon, about 10 to 20. And then as we head into Christmas Day, we're going to see quite a bit of cloud cover, temperatures around freezing. And again, we have a weak weather disturbance that will be passing through the state, giving a little bit of a wintry mix to the central and eastern part of the state. I think it's going to become more prevalent as the system passes to our east into areas of Minnesota. If you have any travel plans going into Minnesota, I think you have a better chance of seeing some slick travel, but again, it doesn't take a lot of freezing mist or freezing drizzle to kind of ice things up. So late in the day on Christmas, if you are going to be traveling, please check the road condition report. Again, this isn't going to be a big ice storm by any means, but again, it doesn't take a lot to grease up those roadways, so you want to be safe on that. And then Arctic air pours in here as we head into the weekend with a few snow showers on Saturday, and then another surge of Arctic air comes in on New Year's. It looks like New Year's Eve into New Year's Day with another round of some snow showers. So no big storms on the horizon, but these little events, again, could slicken up the roadways. But today and tomorrow, the travel looks great. Not only across our area, all the northern and central plains. In fact, near record warmth in the central plains for Christmas. They might be golfing down there with temperatures in the 50s to near 60. That'd be nice.
I had a listener from Arkansas message me, said it is 77 degrees down there today. So, and it's humid. incredibly humid. So there is likely a pretty big weather system passing through for that to happen this time of year, right?
Say that again, Bridgette. I'm sorry. Addison was in my ear.
Oh, he said it's Arkansas, it's 77 and very humid. So wouldn't there need to be some sort of large weather system moving through there to bring that kind of humidity to them in December?
Well, what it is the West Coast is getting flooded. So this is part of the LRC cycle. So the West Coast has got a huge storm system that's giving flooding rains to the southern part of the state and snow to the higher elevations. That turns winds in out of the south across the central plains, and thus you're actually getting moisture tapped in out of the Gulf. So that would be the reason. Yeah. So
we knew there was a reason.
Yeah. So for Bridgette, myself, want to thank everybody for joining us. We want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. But don't go anywhere. The Jay Thomas Show with Tim Flackel is coming up next.